Ya, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, our group from 14 group are going to present you about our materials. First of all, I'm sorry that I can use virtual background because my laptop has error, and let me introduce our name. There's me, my name Muhammad Rifai, and then there's Muhammad Salan Umar and Dadan Rahman Aditya. Okay, next.
Interpretation of statistics. Statistics is the science that studies all things about data, from collection, presentation, analysis, to forming a conclusion. Next. One, population. Population is the object that is used as research. For example, if you are going to do research on the effect of steroid hormone on the growth of broilers, the population that will be selected will be broilerized by breeders. 2. Sample. The sample is part of the population that can be used as a source of information. For example, from the number of broiler owned by breeder, you only need to take a few for you to observe during the research process. This means that you don't need to make all the chicken as research material. Statistical science categorization. 1. Statistic descriptive. Descriptive statistic is a method for organizing, summarizing, and presenting information. Example of descriptive statistic are data presented in the form of histogram, diagram, and circle. Only then do we look for the average, standard deviation, median, mode, and so on. 2. Statistic inference. Inferential statistic is a method for expressing the relationship between the conclusion and the population under study based on information from the sample. You can see example of inferential statistic during the election or regional election quick count. Variable and data. Variable are different characteristics between research subject. For example, height, flower color, seed shape, type of fertilizer, and many other. Variables that can be represented by number are called quantitative variable. For example, height, weight, temperature, and so on. Well, it turns out the quantitative variable are still divided into two, namely discrete and continuous variable. One, discrete variable. Discrete variable are variable whose value are determined from the calculation result. For example, the number of students, the number of vehicles, the number of people wearing in a room, and so on. 2. Continuous variable. Continuous variable are variable whose value are obtained from the measurement result. For example, the height of the trees in the campus area. Manual variable that cannot be expressed by number are called quantitative variable. For example, flower color, age shape, comb shape, and so on. Data is the variable value of an object. Data is also divided into quantitative, qualitative, discrete, and continuous data.
Yes, this is the first exercise. Suppose we want to look at the average height of the student in a class. We can take sample of, for example, as many as 10 students, and then measure their height. From the measurement results, the height data of the 10 students are in centimeter. as follows: 172, 167, 180, 170, 169, 160, 175, 175, 173, and 170. From the question above, find the variable. After you found the variable, decide if the variable is discrete or continuous discrete. You can try to answer. And if there's no answer after 3 minutes, we are gonna give the answer. Previous slide. If no one going to answer the question, we are gonna reveal the answer. Okay, next slide. The answer is variable is the height of students, and the type of variable is continuous variable. Next. Data collection and sampling techniques. Next. 1. Random sample method. The random sampling method is a method of selecting samples based on the concept of chains or random numbers. That is, the samples are taken at random. An example is that each card in the population is given an identity in the form of a number. Then all of them are mixed in one place. The researcher will randomly take the card as needed, while the cards that are drawn randomly are called samples. Next. Two, systematic method. The systematic method is a method for obtaining for example, you have 2,000 cards, and each card you have given an identity only with the cards you need. Suppose every difference, for example, 20, 65, and so on. Three, stratified sampling method. Stratified sampling method is a method for finding samples by dividing a population into two groups for consideration of each sample was taken from each group. Next. Four, group sampling method. This method is almost the same as the standardized sampling method. It's just that the sample chosen is the group and not each individual in each group. Thus, the sample is all members group. Next. Example, Angie has 500 cards. To facilitate his research, he had numbered all the cards. However, he only needs 20 cards for the research. Decide which card he should choose if the method used is stratified sampling. Explanation. Firstly, determine the value of k. K equal to 500 divided by 20. So k is 25. So every card he draws must have a difference of 25 with the previous card. For example, 10, then 35, and then 60, and then 85, and 110, and so on.
Next is calculate. This calculation average is the same as the average calculate result value. Yes, for example, your average math test score during semester 2. A formula that you can use to calculate the mean code. See the formula below. The average is x1 x1 plus x2 plus until xn is divided by n. Based on the above formula, the average value can be calculated by summing all data and then divide by the amount of existing data. Next is mode. Mode in statistics is the most frequently operate data or data that has the largest frequency among the other data. Next is median. Do you already know that the median means? The median is the middle value. You know not anyway this median has two kinds. Both types of median are median for odd data and even data. The formula used to calculate this also different. Median for the odd data is x data in n plus 1 divided by 2. Median for n data is even is x data ke n divided by 2 plus n divided by 2 plus 1 divided by 2. Next is range. Range as the name implies that range includes the largest data and the smallest data. Range is used to calculate the difference between the highest value and the smallest value in the data group. Therefore, the formula is used to calculate the range is x max minus x min. Next is quartile. Quartile or KE is value that divides a set of the data has been organized into four equality range sections. Quartile has three. Key 1 is lower quartile, key 2 is the middle quartile or median, key 3 is upper quartile. Next is quartile deviation. The quartile impact is the range of the three quartile itself. You can calculate the quartile deviation with the following formula. Quartile deviation is key 3 minus key 1 divided by 2. Next is average deviation. This average deviation formula is a bit long, so make sure you pay close attention to it. The calculating result of the average deviation is always positive. So if the result is negative, I think you miscalculated. And the formula like that. Next is variety. The formula is also a bit long, so don't forget to pay close. Variety equal to s square or s is variety equal to 1 divided by n is dikali x1 minus average data square plus x2 minus average data is square until xn minus average data is square. Next is standard deviation. The statistical formula of the last single data is standard deviation, anotherwise known as standard deviation. The formula is like this. It's like variety, but in square root. Now we have the exercise. If anybody want to answer, please on the mic.
May I answer?
Yes.
The answer is 170.1 centimeters.
Yes, the answer is correct. The
Yes,
answer
your
is
answer is correct. Question.
mm,
May I?
yes, yes, please.
The answer is 7. The answer is 5. Sorry.
Yes, yes. The answer is correct. 5. Because the data is odd, is median is 5 plus 1 divided by 2 is 6 divided by 2 is x3. Then we sort the data, we get 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, and x3 is 5. The median of data is 5. Next exercise is anyway.
May I?
Yes.
I think the answer is 8.
Yes, the answer is correct. From the data, largest data is 25 and the smallest data is 17. Thus the range is x max minus x min. This means 25 minus 17 is 8 and the range data is 8. Thank you.
Um, I'm going to answer Mr. Ibnu's question. And the question is, if I have three data, 1, 2, and 3, and the average of the data is 3. But if we have another data that is 1, 2, and 87, and the average is 30, is there any interpretation about that, especially about the concept of average? I'm going to answer the question.
Sorry, for the first data, 1, 2, 3, the average is 2. Yeah, because 1 plus 2 plus 3 equals 6. Yeah, equals 6 and over by 3 equal 2. Yeah, I showed two data, 1, 2, 3 and 1 to 87. Yeah, 87. We have same data. We have 3 data, but the average, yeah, for the first we have 3. And no, 2. Yeah,
Yes.
2, and the value is the middle of the data. But the second data, yeah, 1 to 87, we have average 30. The value of average is out of the data. Maybe in statistic concept, you can explain about the average here. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Ibnu. I'm going to try to explain it from my perspective and from my limited knowledge. Um, from the first data, we have 1, 2, 3, and the average is 2. But in the another data, we have 1, 2, and 87, and the average is 30. That is out of the data. Uh, is there any interpretation about the average? I'm going to explain it. So, from the first set of data, we see that the average is one of the data, which is 2. But in the another example, we get the average that is not in the data set, which is 30. From my knowledge, if the first and the last data set is very long apart, like 1 and 87, that is very long. I mean, the difference between 1 and 87 is very large. So the average from that kind of data may be vary, especially like this, where the data is 1 digit and jump to the 2 digit. So we get the average of 2 digit. Is that answered your question, Mr. Ibnu?
Okay, good answer. Maybe we can check another concept. I show you in average concept, yeah. But in the median concept, we have same value. Yeah, median. The value of median is 2, yeah. So we have different average, but we have some median, different modus, yeah. Maybe you can check another concept of statistic like variance, yeah. Like variance, can we calculate the variance of two data here? You said that if we have one data difference, significant difference, yeah,
Yes.
the average can influence significantly too, yeah, because 1 to n 87, yeah, is very far range, yeah. But if we have 1, 2, and 3, we only have one digit data.
Yes. Mr. Ibnu, are you
Yes.
is this another question or I'm sorry, Mr. Ibnu, can you repeat the question?
Can you check the variance of the data, two data here? Variance, variety, variety or variance? Variety.
Okay.
As I know in statistics, the value of average it's unstable. Why? Because if we have one data different significantly, we have the average of the data is very different. Yeah. For example, yeah, if we have three person, the first have salary 1 billion, 2 billion, and 3 billion, yeah, 3 billion, and we average the salary of 3 person we can say that the average of the salary is 2 million, yeah. But if we have 3 person with the salary 1 million, 2 million, and 87 million, and we have the average is 30 million, so the 3 person, can we say they are very rich because the average of the salary is 30 million. Yeah, it's not correct, right?
Right.
Because the first person only have 1 million, the second person 2 million, but only the third person have a very big salary, 87. Can you explain this phenomena in statistic concept maybe?
Okay. Please give us some minutes.
Okay.
So my conclusion is if we have more data in this set, the conclusion can be more correct. Because we have too little data, in this data we have only 3 kind of data. If we can collect more data, for example 10 or 100, there will be a little deviation from the average data. Because we have only little data, the difference and variety is very big.
Okay. Okay, good. Thank you.
Here come. We are opening question and answer section. If anybody want to ask, you can ask by opening or on your mic.
Can I ask a question?
Okay, please ask.
Okay. I want to ask, can you explain exists the relation between statistic concept and thank you.
I'm going to try to answer Fahri's question. The question is, what is the relation between statistic concept and economics? Is that right?
Yes, right.
I'm going to answer. In statistic, we calculate many kinds of data. For example, the height of a person, the height of trees, and many more. And apart from that, we also calculate, for example, the statistic of a salary of a person. Like Mr. Ibn said earlier, we got the average of that we the upward of from the economics of the country. So from the statistic, we can see the economics, the upward or the downward. Is that answer your question?
Okay, that is enough. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the question. If nobody going to ask a question, we are going to stop today's presentation. I'm sorry for all the trouble and misspoke. And this concludes today's presentation. Thanks all for the attention and present here. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih.